Another fine day of doing absolutely nothing but watch the funny analytic graph on my YouTube channel. Mayhaps I need to figure out what my channel viewers are watching so I can get some better traction.
So remind me again why we're playing this dog map.
Just keep training and shooting them. Donnie, you focus the boss.
Hashtag remaster die rise.
Yeah, the Mark III is kind of mid, no cap. Don't get me started on those annoying-ass Valkyrie drones.
Ooh, Widow's Wine!
Time for me to redeem myself. After I shoot this down, no more 9/11 jokes, Joe.
I can't promise anything. If I'd have known I was supposed to shoot them, I probably could have done it myself.
Yeah, but
Maybe let someone else who won't doze off do it.
I personally think the witches are dummy thick.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Can't wait till
about
your
the
ass
witches.
goes to prison.
Then nobody will be there to carry you through every Easter egg, dumbass.
Wow. That's kinda easy to do. I mean, all I have to do is grab a bunch of quotes from historical politicians and act like they're buddies working together. But I don't see where to begin with that kind of stuff. If only there was a map that just featured a bunch of political figures from the Black Ops 1 time period. Ah! The year is 2010. Major historical events are probably happening, but let's talk about the release of Black Ops for the Xbox 360 and PS3. After just getting off MW2, players were eager for Black Ops to be just as good, or even better, with a promising zombies mode as well. Everyone has their sides on Call of Duty. You're either a multiplayer fan or a zombies fan, but let's talk about the campaign real quick because it's kinda important. The campaign starred one Alex Mason, Marine, SOG, Operation 40 member, CIA agent, Reznov's bottom, the list goes on. Anyways, you do a traditional one-man army hero stuff, kill bad guy, overuse sound effect, and wow, you did it. So now what? Well, let's talk about zombies now, because after the credits roll, JFK gives a certain speech.
For time and the world do not stand still. Change is the law of life, and those who look only to the past or the present are certain to miss the future. I said, are certain to miss the future.
Oh no, I missed that.
Damn, a post-credit cutscene? Treyarch was way ahead of their game compared to Marvel. Anyways, these four characters might need some introduction. I say might because they are all based on real people during the Cold War. John F. Kennedy, 35th President of the United States. Robert McNamara, U.S. Secretary of Defense from 1961 to 1968. Richard Nixon, a presidential candidate during pretty much all of the 60s until becoming the 37th President of the United States. And finally, Fidel Castro, the Prime Minister of Cuba. Why did I just give a small explanation for a bunch of characters in a cutscene? Well, simple answer.
It appears the Pentagon has been breached.
This is our zombies crew for the map 5, and what you've been seeing is the loading screen cutscene for 5. Well, the game starts and you should definitely know the drill by now. Round 1, need power, get some points. Nothing of massive interest is currently happening, but let's discuss something while background me gets some points. Eagle-eyed players may have noticed that this is not the first time being here. This is actually the exact map that was used when Mason would go to the Pentagon during the campaign and get to meet McNamara and Kennedy. Connecting the dots, and players can come to the quick conclusion that this map design was very on par with previous World at War maps, because World at War zombies mainly used pre-existing assets for maps and characters. Keynote or tone from my previous video was different, as it was a completely unique map. No multiplayer map, no campaign level, nothing had that theater in it. 5 is pretty much a return to their original roots, with the map mainly being a combination of reused assets. I mean, 3 of the 4 playable crew members already have their models in the game already. So now that we have some points, we are given 2 options where to go. We can either go through this door or the door 2 feet to the left, and hey look, they both go to the same place. I sure do love me some gameplay variety. Anyways, it's just a hallway with speed cola in it and an elevator. Again, no other options, so I guess you just have to take the elevator. This is the first map to have very closed off areas like this. The first area you were in was called the boardroom, which doesn't look all that impressive, but it's actually where most people tend to high round, and I'll explain why later. After heading down the elevator, hey, who would have guessed it, it's the same place from the campaign. This is known as the war room, and it has a pentagon-shaped design. The room is quite large with an upstairs and downstairs section. The upstairs isn't too interesting, so let's just proceed to the bottom section. Now this is when things get wild. If you've been following the campaign as a path so far, you'd be going down to the door by Juggernog here, and that would be correct, but power is required, so where now? Well, there's a big cargo elevator that you can go down here, so this is where unfamiliar territory is going to be beginning. So as you go into this hidden basement elevator, this is just a laboratory from the Rebirth Island mission. Well, great, now we're in a maze, and they're back. and either I've been playing zombies for too long or these guys are moving faster than the Kino's version. Regardless, there are a few doors down here to open up some laboratories, and the box can be found in one of these rooms. You can tell by peeking through the little glass. Also, power is finally turned on while down here, and this is where things get interesting. Teleporters resembling a red mist are now all over the place. 5 in the laboratory, 1 in the war room, and 1 in the boardroom. You can hop through these portals to go to a different area. However, the odds aren't really in your favor, so you typically just go to a different portal in the laboratory. Okay, so this place is a dead end, but now we can go to the panic room from the campaign. Well, to get in there require a bit more than just power. Around the war room there are switches that say DEFCON and then a number. You need to flip all of these switches so it goes down to DEFCON 1. Once this happens, you can hop into the portal and find yourself inside the panic room with the Pack-a-Punch. Anyways, the DEFCON level will slowly turn back to 5, and once that happens, the doors will open, so you have a small period of time to upgrade your weapon. So that concludes the layout for the map. It has an interesting design choice, but it's pretty much all they could have done considering the restrictions to the pre-existing map. No new perks however, but a few interesting things now exist. Only 2 traps are on this map, and it's on these metal detectors all the way back in the boardroom. These traps however need a switch of their own, so you have to look around the map for the red box which is used to identify the trap switches in zombies. 1 is found in the war room and 1 is found in the laboratory. Hook the 2 things up and now you have 2 fancy electric traps. This is why people high round up here. It's the most consistent method for killing zombies. And that's because the wonder weapon sucks. The Winter's Howl is garbage. The worst wonder weapon ever made. It does no damage. It's a weapon that shoots out a freezing mist in a small distance in front. This weapon will freeze the zombies, or in a more likely scenario, just slow them. The damage is not infinite and is in fact quite weak. I honestly consider the upgraded crossbow to be a better wonder weapon on this map. Wait, wouldn't that be silly? Just a random Pack-a-Punch explosive weapon being better than the majority of wonder weapons in a zombies game? A chew sound effect. Excuse me. The last big thing to talk about are the power-up drops. I haven't said anything about a few power-ups, and 2 new ones have also been introduced within this map, so I guess I have to do some explaining. Carpenter rebuilds all barricades on the map and gives you 250 points, or something like that. I don't really deserve Carpenter's time, and Carpenter's time doesn't deserve me. Fire Sale is a new power-up introduced in Black Ops that is on all maps. It can only spawn once the mystery box is moved once. When the Fire Sale is picked up, all mystery box locations will feature a mystery box, where you can roll the box for only 10 points. Once the kanji tunes are over, so is the power-up. The minigun power-up gives you a minigun for a minute. I mean, it hurts good, but you can't put it away or sprint, so, you know, it was nice knowing you. The Bonfire Sale is unique to 5 only, where after killing
Wait, I didn't talk about him yet.
The Pentagon Thief is a unique boss round that replaces Hellhound on this map. Once power is turned on, the Pentagon Thief round can happen. He will spawn in from the nearby teleporter and attempt to take a player's gun. A cool thing to note about this boss is that for co-op players, only his victim or previous victims are allowed to see the thief. If he gets close to a player, he will take whatever weapon they have on hand. This causes both the thief and the player to be teleported down to the laboratory. The thief will then pick a new target. If all players have had something stolen, the Pentagon Thief will then begin to run around the laboratories and try to lose the players and escape. If he escapes through the center teleporter, then he leaves behind a max ammo as a good sport. However, if you manage to take out the thief, not only will you give your weapon back and a max ammo, but also a fire sale. Even more, however, though, is the challenge of taking him out before he even grabs a single player's weapon. This rewards you with the Bonfire Sale is unique to 5 only, where after killing the Pentagon Thief without him taking any player's weapons will give you the power-up. This will cause all teleporters to go to the panic room where the Pack-a-Punch is. Not only that, it then slashes the price to use the Pack-a-Punch to 1,000 points. Taking out the Pentagon Thief usually requires multiple people, and again, me no have friend. On that sad remark, that actually wraps up the video. Most players find this map to be very hit or miss, as it's quite different compared to Kino der Toten. In my opinion, I actually have more memories of playing 5 with friends than Kino. Whenever I raid zombies maps, I always tend to have a nostalgia bias towards this map, as despite the high difficulty, I would always have a blast playing this. Whether I was running in circles at the bottom level of the war room, or just hanging out in the elevator with friends, and it's moments like these that always bring me back to zombies.